Welcome from Stuttgart, from the Arena 2036, one of Europe's biggest innovation labs.
And Automation Awakenings is here for you today to catch some more experts to talk about VDA5050 and in more concrete to talk about the backsides, the open topics, the missing features of the standard to make sure you are aware of what you buy.
So let's start.
Automation Awakenings, your weekly dose of best practices for logistics automation.
Welcome to the next episode of the Automation Awakenings podcast. And today, as you see, we are not in our usual studio, but together with me is, as always, Matthias. So welcome all of you from Stuttgart, from the Arena 2036. And actually, there's something special going on here today, right, Matthias?
That's right, Olli. We have a automation fair going on just behind us there, with a lot of automation experts gathering here at the event organized by Naise, one of the leading transport guidance providers that we have on the market. And as always, this is a great opportunity for us from Automation Awakenings to take you on a journey and make you meet all of these experts together with us. And as we already mentioned, we want to do some real talk with them today. We want to make sure to ask them what they think is still missing in the VDA5050 standard so that you know what you're buying in when you roll out this feature.
Yes, so come with us, join us down there on the shop floor, and let's talk to the experts.
Yeah, let's go and catch them.
Not only the technology is state of the art here in the Arena 2036, also the meeting rooms. That's why I would like to show you my top 3 today of the most innovative meeting rooms here in Stuttgart. And this is number 3, this nice little corner here in light blue where you can sit and stand and join for an individual meeting.
Yeah, Olli, I got the chance to meet one of the experts we talked about. I'm standing next to Alessandro Castanotto, R&D head at Conti Mobile Robots for the intralogistics applications that you guys have.
Exactly.
Welcome to the podcast, first of all.
Thanks for the
We
invitation.
have a little guy just driving around here, which is amazing. So, great and big innovation hub. And this should lead us.
Let me make some room.
That should lead us to the topic of our talk here. So we want to talk about VDA5050. And we are obviously big fans of it, and that's been a fact throughout the podcast that we have done, throughout the episodes we have recorded. But still, there are some things that are still open, that are still undefined in the standard. So from your point of view as a hardware provider, which topics should be fixed and which loopholes are still to be filled?
Okay, yeah, thanks for the question and thanks also for the opportunity to speak. So first of all, let me start by the fact that as Conti Mobile Robots, we love the VDA5050, right? And we are basically exploiting it. We have no own FMC solution, so we set completely on that, and we have a partner, a network that provides then the fleet management solution. Still, we do know that there are some gaps, let's say, in the standard. So it's in the current state, it's still, let's say, working fine. Yeah. So there should be no fear about using it. You can customize a lot by using the actions that are there. I mean, it gets technical. You know, you have instant action, custom actions,
action parameters, actually, right?
Action parameters and all of that you can really use to implement the features. As an AMR provider, of course, we want our robot to allow the most flexibility possible. Yeah. So I always see it, for example, here in this long hallway. If you have a lot of intermediate points, then of course the robot is bound to pass through there, and it doesn't have the full flexibility of then going around it, because you're actually interested that it reaches the end. You're not interested that it necessarily goes into the waypoint, depending on the traffic management. So I'm always astonished when I see the robot just having 2 endpoints and just navigating how well it does. Yeah. So the whole concept of zones, and the freedom of maneuverability that is now coming into 2.1 with the corridors, this is something it's not implemented yet, we need to experience, and we have basically on the side of the VDA5050 then somehow, not proprietary, but we have dedicated solutions with the different FMC partners so that you can use the freedom of the robot even today, even if it's not VDA5050 basis, but it's like kind of a on top feature that we provide with our partner network.
Yeah, because, and this is something you mentioned totally rightfully, the obstacle avoidance is perceived as a big gap from our point of view, from our customers' point of view. And you already mentioned that you are solving it by using workarounds basically, right? To still adhere to VDA5050, but allow the robot to still go around or maneuver around obstacles that are on the way between two base points that you have in the VDA5050 route that is sent to you.
Exactly. So the robot is basically not receiving a trajectory that it needs to follow strictly, but it's really going from one point to the other and within the map and within also, let's say, limitations that you can set. So also here we have already some zone solution where you can say this is a no-go zone, this is a zone where you should not stop, this is a zone where you... So we have it with Naise, we have it with Kinexon, we have it also with others that you can already from today say, okay, just go from this point to the next one by, let's say, abiding to the rules that are somehow being passed to you by the FMC partners.
Understood. Okay, so obstacle avoidance, yes, that's one big point for sure. Secondly, how about the map? That's one of my biggest pain points, because when we rolled out VDA5050, we had the problem or the challenge to transfer points, like landmark points, from the map that is sitting on the vehicle itself to the master control system that was steering it using VDA5050. And of course now, when we change something in the layout at this customer plant, we have to do this twice. We have to change it in the master control and also in the map that is sitting on the vehicle. How do you experience that? Is that something that you also stumbled across?
Yes, so I mean, we do have, let's say, the synchronization solution available, for example, with the Kinexon FMC. It is one of the partners that we did work with a lot.
That's the fleet manager by Kinexon, right?
Exactly.
Alessandro.
Yes, yes. So there we do have already a solution where you could both, let's say, synchronize the map layout, but also the POIs and the parameters. From the way that our robot philosophy and architecture is structured, we don't have too much information about the map on the robot itself, right? So we basically the coordinates of the points and what is supposed to be done at the points is basically being communicated through the orders. So on the robot itself, we only have some type of points that you would want to use in a layout where you configure some parameters. And there you're right, you have some points where you overlap between, let's say, the configuration on the robot and the one on the FMC. This is not solved. This is actually something that the deployment engineer on site is expert enough to know that they need to be configured the same. So we do also have projects where the whole topic of map server and map distribution is not solved. So this is also something that was introduced in the 2.1. So definitely we see that we need to close a gap there. But project by project, we do have solutions. We even have our own, even though we don't provide an FMC, we have our map server that we can, let's say, use on top, deployed on customer sites, and then basically our robots get an updated map distributed by this Conti server, that we don't charge for. It's just so that it works.
If you talk about FMC, Alessandro, this is the fleet management controller or software that you use.
Exactly. This is the word.
Natively.
The abbreviation we always use at Conti.
No, just clarifying for the community so they can follow. But that's well understood now. Is there anything else that comes to your mind with regards to VDA5050? So if you could make a wish list to the VDA5050 groups or the VDMA groups that are working on the standard, is there anything else that you would like to see there?
Not really, not from today. So I think these are the two major points, and I think by fixing them, harmonizing them, we're already doing a great big step. And of course, I mean, here and there we have some points where we see in real life that they're being misinterpreted. I think this is just a maturity issue. It will increase over time. We've seen it also in the 2.1. Some things were fixed. It's a living thing, and it's an agile approach. Like we like to do it. We define it, we roll it out, we learn, and then we iterate from that.
Perfect. Alessandro, thank you so much for your time. Thanks for being with us at Automation Awakenings. And back to you, Olli. Really curious to see who you are talking to at the moment.
Yes, Matthias, thank you very much for these insights, and welcome here at the Bosch Rexroth booth. I'm together with Jörg Heckel. yeah, project director robotics. And I'm very happy that you found time for us. So welcome, Jörg, to the show.
Yes, thank you, Oliver. It's a pleasure.
Yes, so nice because Jörg already told us that their active shuttle, their AMR, is using VDA5050, let's say, as a native language. So tell us more. What does that mean?
Yes, of course. So we've been pioneers in VDA5050. We are close with our Bosch plants in production, automotive productions. This is where it originated, the VDA standard. And Rexroth, as a VDMA member, is also participating, and we are in this group from the beginning and defining the standard, working on the standard, and of course using it in our products. And not only the active shuttle, but also our rocket software component. So the software stack we sell to customers of HEVs that can build on our software stack, which is similar to the active shuttle software.
Okay, that means you are a real VDA5050 pioneer.
Yes, and we fully rely on this standard. So it's very simple to use our components in combination with others. So the key element is that not only active shuttle is on the shop floor, but also other vehicles using VDA5050. And then you're free in choosing the fleet management system. You can use the active shuttle management system as a fleet management system, or another, like a Naise here at the Naise event. And yeah, there are some projects we already did, and it works very well.
Okay, understood. But now you have to explain to me, you are using VDA5050, okay, as your native language to manage or to steer the robot. Some people say that the standard is not yet ready. There are still gaps. Things are not yet like included in the standard. So can you confirm that, or would you say actually everything is there to use it?
Yes, now we got a release 2.1, which is there. It's ready to use, very good. And 2.1, of course, there's some earlier versions, 1 point versions, which may not have all the functions and features included that are now available. But there was a trade-off. Should we go with a standard early and not ready, and considering software as a continuous process in continuing delivering new features? Or should we wait to have a perfect standard? Yeah, and then a few years later start it. And I think the decision was good to go in early, to get all the industry partners accommodated, or get used to this new offering and standard. And that's how it developed. And I think this is a perfect experience and perfect status at the moment. Very successful.
Yeah, cool. Congratulations to that.
Yeah.
That sounds interesting, of course. And now I'm curious, if a customer asks you, I would like to use the active shuttle, would you prefer to use it with your own AMS system, or is it okay for you to be onboarded in a fleet manager like Naise or Synaos?
Yeah, we are free. It's free. Should be VDA5050 compatible. And if the active shuttle is the first vehicle on the shop floor, there is only AMS available, so it comes as a bundle, as one system.
Okay.
So as a vehicle manufacturer, you always have to provide some fleet management system. And if an end customer already decided to use some fleet management system and said, let's have an active shuttle as a first vehicle, we can also integrate to there. And at least the connection between the fleet management system and the vehicle is very fast. Of course, the use cases you want to provide, transporting dollies, is another thing. You have to program and find solutions to pick up goods and drop goods. And this can be individual, but this is all possible with the standard.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then Jörg, I have a last question
Yeah.
for you.
Yeah.
The VDA5050 is, of course, still being developed to the next version,
Yes.
3.0.
Yes.
So what is your wish, or what should be included in this version from your point of view?
Okay. It's about new features. So you see, it's a big step from 2.1 to 3.0. this is suggesting it's a big step
Yeah.
in features. What I like to have is also to work on a more sharper definition of the standard, because there are some dialects, some things that allow different solutions, which are then not as efficient and not as positive in the use and beneficial as with a clear and sharp defined standard communication. And that's why what I also like is to have more on these, to work more on these clearing up the standard issues, not only looking at new features.
Okay.
Yeah.
Understood.
Yeah.
Jörg, thank you very much for
Yes.
joining us
Yes.
today in this special episode. And with these words, I would say, let's go back to you, Matthias. Have you found another expert?
Thanks, Oliver. I'm actually standing next to a real VDA5050 veteran. Sven Kaluza, Business Development Manager from Omron Electronics GmbH. Really happy to have you on the podcast, Sven.
Thank you, Matthias. It's my pleasure to be here in the Arena 2036. I love this location and I love our demo here and our robots, of course. And I'm really happy to be part of Automation Awakenings because I've seen mostly all of your episodes, and it's very interesting because you share very great insights in this special topic of intralogistic.
Thank you so much, Sven. That's heart-warming words.
Yeah.
And we are, of course, continuing to produce good content for our community. And that's why let us dive into the topic of VDA5050. And we want to do some real talk today with you and all the other experts we're going to interview.
Okay.
And we would like to know what, let's say, gaps are still open in the standard so that our community, our listeners know what they buy in when they get VDA5050 and roll it out, so they can prepare for workarounds and for special solutions in case something is missing. So yeah, what is your take on this, Sven? What, from your point of view as a hardware provider, as Omron, is still missing, and what should be added maybe to the standard in the next years?
Okay, so maybe just go back in time a little bit. When I started at Omron in 2018, I visited a BMW site, and this was the first contact about VDA5050. And the dream, the former dream, and I think it is still a dream, is to create a standard for mixed fleets, any kind of robot in one fleet with one master control, and to make it easier for the automotive guys to choose robots independent of the supplier. So this is the basic idea. Now we have 6 years of experience in the version 2.0 and now 2.1. And yes, there are still some open points. And when we had our last meeting with VDA and VDMA, everyone said that, hey guys, we should be more AMR friendly, for example. So we should improve the standard to be more AMR friendly. So nice one, because we have AMRs. So everyone wants to be like us.
Actually, we are standing next to one of them, right?
Exactly.
It's a mobile manipulator in this case. So Omron Skate, so to say. And then also Omron Cobot on top.
Exactly. So this is the LD250 and TM12 Cobot, just to show the idea of how we can combine the products and to solve new challenges in work and in tasks. So this is really a nice demo. I love it.
Amazing.
So okay, coming back to what we need. So first of all, I think that more and more companies want to be part of the show and want to have a piece of the cake. And what I really saw in the last meetings, that these companies join also VDMA meetings, VDA meetings, just to get some insights. And then they left. And we spent a lot of time to make them clever, and then they left. And this is a waste of time, in my opinion. So what we really need is, we need a kind of approval, a kind of plate of license that yes, our robots are able to be a VDA5050 compatible robot. Now we have, I think this is also a new development. We have more and more software companies. So not only here in the arena, it's Naise, but you know, all the others now, Kinecton and all these guys. Everyone has great solutions, of course, but it's different. So as every hardware supplier is different, software is different, and even the standard is not finished. We all know this, but we should define a kind of qualification program so that the customer, in the end, it's for the customers. They should really rely on, yes, they are compatible.
Okay,
You know?
got it,
You know
got
what
it.
I mean?
So what you're saying, I think, is two things, if I got you right, Sven. So first of all, you argue that the setup of the working groups should be more stable, right? To be quicker, to don't have this onboarding effort for new members that join and then leave again. So this is the first thing
Exactly.
that I caught. And the second thing you say is that basically we need like a unified VDA5050 certification to avoid those different dialects that people talk about when we mention VDA5050. This is what you say, right? Naise is interpreting VDA5050 its way. Then we have Omron its way. Then we have Agilox. Okay, this is a bad example.
Special.
But let's say SafeLog, let's say Rexroth. So everyone is having a little bit of a different take, right? And what you're saying is we actually need some kind of entity that is approving that this VDA5050 dialect is adhering to the standard in a way that we can easily copy and paste these applications into each other.
And
interesting.
Another interesting thing is that we need customer feedback. We now start with the first projects. We have some rollouts, not only POCs, we have some live ones. That's nice, but the feedback is very important for the decision of next features and components and things we need. Okay, we can't decide this on our own as a VDMA member or VDA member. So of course, the guys from VDMA, they invented now the I think it's Intralogistics 2X. So this group where end users can share the content.
Okay.
Okay, and then we can learn and decide in the group, okay, which feature do we need in the future?
Okay, so if I get you right here, Sven, you're saying that in the working groups, both VDA and VDMA, there's been two less end users, two less customers in the past, who of course should be the trigger point for new requirements and new developments of the standard.
The center of all is the customer.
Yeah.
That's what we need, okay?
Yeah.
And you know that for me, one really typical development of the last maybe 2 years is a lot of customers, not only automotive, this is also remarkable because we have now customers from pharma or food and commodity, for example, and they are aware of VDA and they like it. But what I see is they say, okay, this can solve all of our problems. And so they take their RFQ and put a checkbox in it and say, are you able to VDA5050? And we found out that in the first discussion with the customer, we couldn't even go on and go into discussions. So will you need, is there really a reason to use VDA? Because they say, stop talking. You are not compatible. There's a mandatory field. And that's the wrong way. Because I think that the VDA5050 marketing is working very well. So we have a lot of companies that talk about, that share content. We have AGV mashup, Automatica mashup, things like that. But in the end, we should start with what is the project, and it's not ideal to just say the mandatory field is VDA. You know? And so please, dear customers, please be careful in choosing because your application is key and not the standard. Sorry for that, but that's the truth.
Excellent. I mean, I think it also goes with awareness. So VDA5050 is not a one-stop shop, not yet. So we need to create awareness to apply it where needed, and where it's not needed, maybe another application makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, exactly.
Sven, thank you so much for joining. A really amazing discussion. And handing back to Olli.
Hey, Matthias. Yeah, come in. This is number 2. I especially enjoy this nice positive colors, especially light yellow, which is actually my favorite color. Yes, and now follow me for my favorite meeting room here in the Arena 2036, which is this nice hall, which is actually open if you look to the top. And yeah, you can join here for conferences. So how cool is this, right?
Olli, thank you so much. Another excellent expert I found here at Naise Intralogistik Vasen is of course the CEO and co-founder of Naise, Kai Pschibisch-Herz. Great to have you on the show, Kai.
Thank you to have you as a visitor on our show today.
Yeah, we already discussed a little bit about VDA5050 today during the panel discussion, but I thought let's grab Kai again and let's talk about the gaps, the maybe missing functions that you guys still see from software side. And we can totally go into a real talk here because our community should know what they buy in when they go with VDA5050. So my big question is now, Kai, what do you think? What is missing? What are gaps? And how do you see the whole topic, so to say?
I would say maybe a very simple answer to this question is there's nothing missing.
Okay.
In my opinion, the VDA5050 is already pretty fine. There's, some range of interpretation, but the content is totally enough. Yeah, we have already successful project using VDA5050 as communication with robots from different manufacturers. This is fine. So it's enough. Yeah? Of course, there is a wish list. Yeah? And I had not a long time ago a good discussion with someone about the error handling.
Okay.
Yeah, you have like a field of searching error messages with the fleet manager, but the way how we do handle errors is not standardized. And I think this could be a good thing because I'm using the application fleet manager as the interface to the robots. And nowadays, if I have a very special error handling which is needed, then I have to go on the robot, instead handle it with the UI I'm using already. This could be solved by having a standardized error handling in the VDA5050.
So what you mean is basically like pushing error notification to the master control user about failed orders, about I don't know, malfunctions of the robot. Is that what you say, Kai?
Yes, just one step. What happened very often is that error messaging means I'm sending a number, error number.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, like
So,
1586
for
something.
example. Yeah. And this means, okay, now I have to understand what I have to do. But the solution sometimes is simple. Yeah. My sensor is dirty. Please clean it.
Okay.
So this is something which has to be changed, but it has to start in the mindset of the whole setup. Yeah. So the robot manufacturer should understand that the fleet manager, central fleet manager, is like a central interface for the user, not only of the fleet manager, of the AGVs, AMRs, and giving this kind of content with instruction what to do would help a lot. Yeah.
Okay. So do not just only like feedback cryptical error messages, but also kind of interpret it so that the end user that is using a VDA5050 compatible fleet management system has it all at one glance and understands what is going wrong with this particular robot.
Exactly.
Excellent. Anything else that comes to your mind?
As I said in the beginning, we are already very happy with the VDA5050.
Cool.
And don't make it too much, too big.
Yeah. Okay.
It is already acceptable. Good.
Perfect. Kai, thank you so much for the time.
You're welcome.
Thanks for hosting us here. Really an amazing event with many great experts that met here to discuss different topics like VDA5050, like best practices, like lessons learned. So make sure you join this event next year.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Have a good time. Bye-bye.
Good time.
So going back for a summary, see you in a second. Wow, Olli, what a day.
Yes, absolutely. But the best part is still to come, actually.
Right, with the after-show event that is already going on in the back, waiting with some cool beers and great conversations for us.
Yeah, looking forward to that, of course. And we learned a lot today, right?
Totally. So we learned that the VDA5050 is still having some gaps, still some improvement potentials. We heard a lot about obstacle avoidance and being more AMR friendly. We heard about the map harmonization between mobile robots and master control systems. And we also heard about the organization itself and some decisions that could make this work a bit more efficient. So with this, we are leaving you now. We hope you enjoyed this great episode with all of these insights that have been collected. We hope to see you back next Monday for another episode of the Automation Awakenings podcast. Spread the good word, stay tuned, and hear you back next Monday. Goodbye.
Yeah, cheers, goodbye. Let's have a beer, huh?
Yeah,
Come, let's go.
This was another episode of the Automation Awakenings podcast. Visit us at automation-awakenings.com.